Hey everybody, it's Dr. Dane, and I just want to go over some things that we're going to be covering this Friday. We're doing an Everesting, the Wellness Practice event with Dan Bai from Everest Coaching. Super excited about it. We're going to be doing these periodically throughout the year. It's a 4-hour in-depth training on your day 1, day 2 process, integrating the 8 weeks to wellness protocols with the Everest protocols. And Dan and I have put a lot of time into this. We've created a separate manual that will be distributed if you don't already have it. And just wanted to go over some of the key points that we'll be discussing on the webinar on Friday. The first thing is just, how do you go from consult to your exam using the wellness score to your care plan, how you're using that care plan template, and then your report of findings packet. So, that is, hinges on the fact that you know what goes in a report of findings packet, which we'll be covering. There's so much to this, guys. Closing is not easy, especially when you don't understand the steps to close properly. But, doing a good day 1, a good consult, getting your green lights, which we'll talk about, knowing how to ask the questions and pre-frame your questions. I think that's just critical, knowing how to pre-frame and ask a question and why you're asking that question. And then your wellness score, being able to incorporate the wellness score, your motion studies, your posture pictures. There's a lot to this, and I do think that this fundamental of your day 1 and day 2 is absolutely critical. Second thing, what are the green lights? We've developed 3 green light questions, and these green light questions are literally that. They're green lights to know when you're going to make 8 weeks to wellness recommendations, and just as important, when you're not going to make 8 weeks to wellness recommendations. Remember the saying is give people what they want first and then show them what they could have. But there's a way to show people what they could have, guys, so that they want it. So just because somebody comes in and they have a typical chiropractic complaint doesn't mean they don't need 8 weeks to wellness, but it doesn't matter whether they need it if they don't want it. And there's a way to bring people up the ladder to make them want what they need. I always like Brad saying on this is that people don't know what they want until you show it to them. The third thing is, how do you build additional services into your care plans? Are you guys using that care plan template for your 3-month care plans? One of my favorite plans has become a 3-month care plan starting 8 weeks to wellness in the 2nd month. But, building things in like your posture preps and your rehabs, your therapies. I always like to say you're not the devil if you do therapy. So building your therapies into your care plan and, coming up with a care plan that's based on their unique presenting findings, their wellness score, their posture. So, not all care plans, I believe, should be the same. They should be unique, and it should be based on knowing how to put that care plan together. So we're going to talk about that. And then finally, what are some of the key questions and statements in the report of findings that will really get the patient to close themselves? There's a key question that I ask in the report of findings that I just think is absolutely critical to know whether you put the care plan properly together. And the patient will tell you by answering this question whether you put the right care plan together or whether you need to go back to the drawing board. So all of this we'll be covering on Friday. I hope you guys can join Dan and I. I've included a link for the registration process for Everesting the Wellness Practice, and I hope to see you guys on Friday. And we'll be doing it from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you guys there.